Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's tarot reading. Again, this week I'm going to use Kim Cran's The Wild Unknown Tarot. Been shuffling for a while with a view to pull three cards that will give us some insight into our upcoming week. Let me just connect with the deck. Okay, I'll cut the deck. And we'll take the top three cards. The first card representing our current moment, what's happening in our field right now. Our second card, we'll look at the past influence that brought us here. And our third card, we'll look at the future potential. What can we expect? So here we have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords, the swords being the air element, is representative of our thinking mind. And we see here two swords crossed. Now they're evenly crossed, however, they're not pointing directly up. So whenever we see a sword pointing directly up, it means real clarity of thinking. When they're slightly out of alignment in terms of that, there's some doubt, there's still some thinking going on. But here we see two, they're evenly weighted, and basically the card's meaning is two ideas make a choice. But unfortunately, it's not easy to make a choice because they're evenly weighted and they both look as good as the other. However, we can only make one choice. Now, the bright light shining out from this eclipse here is suggesting that if we wait a little while, rather than rushing into a decision, we may have some insight to a potential third choice. Or maybe this light, once the eclipse has passed, will shine more preference to one of those two choices. So this week is about sitting still and contemplating the choices before we actually make that decision. Let's see where that came from. Well, it came from the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the Pentacles is the earth element. So we're looking at the material realm. Now, this could be our health, but it could also be our finances. And whilst we see evenly spaced pentacles here, we do see quite a lot of turmoil in the middle with all of these strings attached as if they're pulling the coins, the pentacles, in different directions. And that is really the energy of the Four of Pentacles. It's the energy of almost miserliness with finances, but also an indecision about what to do with finances. The colors of the string, however, are quite bright and pretty. They're not just the simple black and white. So it's not a negative card per se, but it's just a thought that how have we been spending our money? Are we holding it onto it too tight? Or are we misappropriating it in some way? And maybe that is what has led us to this. We need to make a decision about something here. And it could be to do with our finances or our health. Let's see where it's going. Okay, well, this is really good because it's going into a major arcana, so a big hitter of the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is the karma card. So what goes around comes around, but it's also the card of good fortune. And we see that in the multiple colors within the center of the wheel. We see the sun at the bottom, the moon at the top. So there's a sense of balance. It's half white and half black. And we see the wisdom of the owl. Now, the wisdom of the owl is suggesting we've been here before. What goes around comes around. But maybe this time, because we're going to make an effort to really wait and let that light shine before we make a decision. Maybe this time the fortune of the Wheel of Fortune will be more available to us. So we've been juggling finances or we've been holding on too tight. Health, finances, anything material. It's brought us to a place right now where we need to make a decision, but we don't want to be in a rush making that decision. And if we take our time and wait for that light, we should find ourselves with good fortune and good karma moving forwards. So let me know how that goes, and I'll see you next week. Bye.